Minecraft, a game with many mods, one of which was Thaumcraft, a mod with these little golems which could take care of your fields of crops among other tasks. I derived great enjoyment from watching them do their tasks, and those golems were the main inspiration when creating Tiny Terraces, my little farming game. You seen these fellows wobbling around in the field? I mean, this is enjoyable to watch, right? The main aspect of the game is farming via these fellas. I'm currently closing in on 1 year of developing this game, and it's about a month from release. Go wishlist it on Steam. But I want to go back and show you how it began and some of the development towards current day. There wasn't much thought that went into starting this game. I had been wanting to make a farming game as any normal person does, so I started on a shopkeeping game where you would grow mushrooms to sell in your shop. Got to the point where I drew these beautiful headless people. The design of the character was a little too complex. I gave up on it and had to think of a different, simpler idea. I remembered my enjoyment of those golems from Thaumcraft many years ago, and so I came up with farming. That's it, just farming. No interacting with some town people, just putting a seed in the ground and watching it grow. Except, that's not all. You don't even control a character. You just place down the seed and have some little golems take care of the plants for you. Genius! I got started on creating this game on the 19th of July, a couple weeks after giving up on the other one. I drew a few things, a guy and a couple plant stages for a wheat crop and an apple tree. Did a little coding and had a guy that could water plants and plant one seed. Then he would give up because the code sucked. And with Thaumcraft golems as the inspiration, I wanted to be able to craft them and have different types like in the mod. Types such as one's made of wheat or wood. So by the end of the first day I had 2 types of fellows, the starter one, which is white, and could do all the possible tasks, planting, watering, and harvesting, and a wheat fella that was much quicker, but could only do planting and watering. Day 2 started with trying to add some simple polish to the visuals. I wanted them to be a little more animated without having to do any animations by hand yet. I gave them a little squash when they were doing a task, and made a little building they would bring the produced goods back to. There was a little error with that. Then I broke it, like, where are you even going, buddy? And figured it out by the end of the day. So now they would put the items into the storage inventory, which you can see right here, 6 whole wheats. The next day I went on and made some pollinators, some bees and butterflies. The bees would take pollen from whichever plant they visited and create a jar of honey. I made an inventory menu to show the items held in storage. Beautiful. Put the menu in a little sidebar which slides out. Did a tiny bit of coding so that you could select a seed to place if you had one available in storage. Synced the displayed amounts with the current stored amount, and now I had a functional storage system for the game. After which I spent a little time drawing some tiles to surround the garden plots, which the fellas did not like and started digging it all up. I drew a lot of tiles the following day, then started on some animations for the fellas. Created an idle, walking, harvesting, watering, and picking up item animation, also variations of the idle and walking animation for when holding an item. They may not be doing the correct animation, but it looks pretty good. Look at them turn that water into dirt. Although I shouldn't be doing it, I really like wasting time polishing stuff that's nowhere near completion. The next day I drew a few plants and their growth stages. We got wheat, tomatoes, potatoes, corn, and a couple of different weeds. I put the plants in the game and it looks pretty nice. Added a wiggle to the plants when they're brushed up against, and added the wood type guy. Did a little unnecessary stress test with a lot of fellas doing their tasks, and added some little dust puff particles on harvest of a plant. When a building like the Beehive is producing something, I wanted it to be visible to the player. And in Stardew Valley, there's a little squash and stretch that buildings do, and with this tiny bit of code you can achieve something pretty similar, if not the same. I started creating these item receival pop-ups, which as seen here, was functioning perfectly fine with no errors at all. Got it working as intended, it will show up to 4 new items received at once, then we'll replace the oldest one with the next new item. Added a menu for seeing details about and managing the fellas. You can see their type and the task they're doing, and change their names if you want. I made some icons for the task checkboxes which control the tasks that the people are currently able to do. Then added some wind sway to the plants, and implemented the start of the shop menu, plus the ability to purchase the stuff within it. Drew a little wall and path for testing, made them placeable. Nice. After which added the ability to sell items in your storage and gain gold from that, as well as selling multiple items at once. I spent the next week drawing many new plants. Got this batch with bell peppers, watermelon, carrot, onion, radish, eggplant, cauliflower, cabbage, and I believe this stuff is called radicchio, another with garlic, kale, bok choy, broccoli, and leeks, and then some berries, strawberries, cranberries, and blueberries, and finally one containing oats, barley, asparagus, cantaloupe, and honeydew. In that time, I also added some A-star pathfinding, so that they could avoid walls and buildings instead of passing through them like before. Additionally, made a little UI that you could pop up, which would show the name and task of each fella, as well as added in some sound effects, which sounds pretty nice. And finally, I made a Steam page for Tiny Terraces. That covers about the first 3-ish weeks. Go wishlist Tiny Terraces on Steam. Thanks.